The Mariners have out-Fenwayed the Red Sox. Emerson Hancock is back. And Ben Williamson is the third baseman of the future. Welcome to the Dom Skeen channel, your one-stop shop for the Mariners storylines on Seattle's minds. Mariners won 8-5 Wednesday night to even the series against the Boston Red Sox and moved to 13-11 on the year. Quick standings update. We're currently tied with the Astros at one game back in the division from Texas, who sits at 14-10 and occupying the second of the three wildcard slots. Cleveland holds the top wildcard spot at 14-10, while we're tied on record with Houston, but ahead on tiebreaker. Boston sits at 14-12 and has a .538 winning percentage to our .542 because they played two more games than us, but would move ahead of us with a win today. It's still just April, but every single game counts. And that's why I cover them all right here on this channel. Be sure to turn on post notifications on that bell next to my name. First, subscribe. Second, turn on post notifications, that bell. Make sure the bell is filled in, not just like a outline of a bell, but hollow silhouette of a bell. Turn that bell on, get notifications for videos after every single game, because here, every game counts. Moving on, when I say we out-Fenwayed the Red Sox, it's a full team effort, as Emerson Hancock put up just the seventh quality start M's pitchers have had in the last decade. That's about, I think, the seventh quality start out of 35 attempts, 35 games at Fenway for starting pitchers. So I know, shout out to Marine Layer, they had a little short on YouTube and stuff, Instagram reel and stuff, where they were talking about how, like 6 out of 33 pitchers in the last decade for the M's. You know, there's been 33 starting pitchers, 33 starts, only 6 quality starts from our starting pitchers. They've got like an 8 ERA or something terrible, giving up an MVP /line, 300, average, and it's all bad. Basically, we're just giving up a lot of. And you remember when we go to Fenway Park, and it's like 14-1, 15-1, 12-10, or 12 to whatever it is the last day. But yeah, it has been an issue for us, and that's why I say we out-Fenwayed the Red Sox in the first hand of the full team effort. But first, before we talk about Hancock and his start, we got to look at the small ball that we played in a small ballpark. Bottom of the order really carried us today, save for Solano in the 6th hole, and that's one of the few players who hasn't had many big moments this season and could have trouble justifying his viability on this roster rest of season. However, in the 8th hole, you've got Leo Rivas going 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored and 2 walks. So Leo Rivas getting on base 4 out of 5 chances. He's now batting .278 on the year with a .736 OPS. Then J.P. Crawford in the 9 hole getting that first home run of the season. We needed to see that at some point from J.P. We just need to see some production. He's, a flashy player, so when he has one of those splash plays that can really get him going. And then, he's batting .246 on the year, too. He's not been that bad of a hitter, on paper. He just feels like not a guy that you can rely on as much as he used to. Demo's batting .277 right now. It's awesome to see, even though he didn't get a hit today, hit yesterday, still scored a run. And then you had Ben Williamson getting 3 hits on 5 at-bats, driving in a run, and scoring 1. And then when you look at Ben Williamson, he's batting .310. He's getting 803 OPS. Obviously, he's only been up for a week. But can we finally say this guy is our third baseman, at least of the present? I'm not, first baseman of the future, might put a question mark on that one, because he's not a guy with an insane track record of, prospect potential at the plate. He is supposed to have a lot of potential in the field. And oh my gosh, that play yesterday that he made, to save, really just give Hancock, a little bit of luck back where he's had a lot of bad luck. Wow. He comes over, real athletic, real agile. Ball is hit, I think it's just barely to the right of of the bag, but it's going kind of, if this is the bag, right? Bag is a square right here. Then the ball, say this is foul, and this is fair. So, right, the foul line is right here on the outside of the bag. This ball goes kind of like that, just barely passes the base. And Williamson comes over from here, he takes a really good kind of, as a football coach, I always talk about this, and in high school, I remember hearing this, this made perfect sense to me as an athlete, is when you banana your route. So if you're going to go tackle a guy in football, you come, you don't charge him straight on if he's in a short area, because that's a running back, right? And you're a linebacker, then that guy can juke you. But, or he can truck you, he's going to have a full steam, he's going to be running full steam ahead. But what you do is you banana, so you cover your ground this way first, you get right in front of it, and then after you get in front of it, then you have the highest probability, and then you go straight on. And so Williamson bananas his route, to the ball. He comes and picks that ball up, and he's going past the bag into foul territory. And then he's, this throw, I'm like, okay, we don't have a third baseman who can make this throw. Even Demo, who's a Gold Glover, I'm not sure if this throw was really his specialty at third. Ben Williamson coming this way, goes across his body, almost like a prime Gene Segura. And he gets the guy out at first base. That was the throw that I've been waiting to see at third base this season, just somebody emerging. And Ben Williamson, who had an excellent spring training, has had an excellent first week of the season, and is at least the first baseman of the present, the third baseman of the present, if not the third baseman of the future. And now the final thing I want to shift to today is Emerson Hancock. Now, look, I'm just going to put my sunglasses on when I talk about Emerson Hancock now, because I did tell y'all it was going to get better. I told y'all that Emerson Hancock that we knew and loved when we drafted him out of Georgia is still in there somewhere. And today he showed a little bit of that for the first time this year. 7 strikeouts on 6 innings. 5 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and those came a little bit later on in the start, obviously. 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. On only 92 pitches, though. Gets his ERA down to 7.71. It was a lot worse. He did get hit hard, 9 times in this one. But when we look at his actual pitch mix, so it pisses me off because later in the start he was throwing more sinkers, and he ended up throwing 31 sinkers, 26 four-seamers, 34% sinker, 28% four-seamer, 28% changeup, 13% slider, 5% sweeper. And the hill that I'm willing to die on with him is that if he throws more fastballs, it's going to get better. Now, he was throwing that four-seamer to start out, and it was looking amazing. I was like, yes, and it was all working out. The bad part is he reverted back to the sinker, even though that thing was still getting clobbered. Emerson, don't go back to that sinker. I promise you, don't go back to that sinker. It really puzzles me, and I'm going to try to watch his next start super close. I'm going to be there in person on Tuesday against the Angels. So, Emerson, I don't know why you were holding on to this sinker, but that thing, he throws 31 of them, gets 2 whiffs. So, 2 swinging strikes on 31 pitches, not that good, but 5 swinging strikes on 26 pitches, almost 20%. That's an elite rate. And then that four-seam fastball also doesn't get clobbered. The only pitch that gets clobbered in this arsenal, really, the sinker and then the sweeper sometimes. So that sweeper he threw 5 times, got 1 whiff on it. But still. And then the changeup, as an auxiliary pitch, 2 whiffs on 12 pitches. 2 whiffs on 18. Then the slider, 2 whiffs on 12. In my opinion, man, we need to ride that four-seamer to the bank. And I know I am an outside source. I'm not claiming that I know pitching well enough to even make these claims, but this is just from what I see, what works for guys across the league right now, which that's what I do study. I keep up with guys across the league pretty well. Shifting to Casey Legumina, did give up his first runs of the season. That was all that was for Legumina, was normalizing to the mean. normalization to the mean for Casey Legumina. I'm still very encouraged by him. He had to make a mistake. And also normalization to the mean on the other end for Tristan Casas. 2 3-run homers in a row for him, who was 2 for 44 against starting pitchers entering this series. Shout out to the Boston broadcast for that stat. Then you got, Munoz, 3 whips on 15 pitches. Anyway, we're done talking about Emerson, so take my sunglasses off now. But next start, my prediction next start is that we're finally going to see that 4-seamer overtake that sinker. This time it was, 31-26. I think I might need to watch this movie, Sinker, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, to see how it ends, and maybe I can use it as some grand metaphor for how the 4-seamer is going to overtake the sinker, and Emerson can finally stop being this sinker, slider, tinker guy. That if he were to get rid of that sinker and maybe even the sweeper, because the 4-seamer, the changeup, and the slider do not get hit that hard, and those look like the 3 pitches to me that are getting the most whiffs. Anyway, with that being said, our game today has just gotten underway. We're already got 2 runs on the board. Mitch Garver double, 710 XBA on that one, 101.6 exit velo, and now we have a 68% chance to win. So 68% chance to win. Still in the first inning in this one, and we don't even have an out yet. We got 2. Yes, they haven't got an out yet, and we've got 2. No, sorry, they got us all. They got 3 outs. They're up now, bottom of the first. But Garver tacking on 2 RBIs. Dylan Moore leadoff single with a 200 expected batting average, so getting a little lucky early. As a team, we've only got a 202 XBA so far in this one. Right now, it's actually Brian Wu up against Rafael Devers at the plate with no outs, or with 1 out. But anyway, I will be back tomorrow to recap this one for you guys. Later on today, though, actually pretty soon here, probably you can expect to see it maybe before the end of this game, I am going to be releasing my official final mock draft for the 2025 NFL draft that kicks off at 5 p.m. I'm going to be probably doing it in this format, just recording a video. But watch out for that later today. Going to be the whole first round I'm going to mock. And anybody who follows me on Twitter, shout out if you do follow me on Twitter, at Dom Skeen, you'll know that I have kind of been commenting on a lot of these guys throughout the course of draft season. I haven't been starting now. And from, all-star games to, combine and pro days and stuff. I think you guys are going to like a lot of the things that I have in my mock draft, and how it coincides with a lot of things that I predicted, hopefully true, at least thus far, from what we know. And it could all come true later today. So watch out for that mock draft later. And Alex Bregman just hit a bomb off of Wu. That was only a homer in 2 out of 30 parks. Fun fact about that. So getting a little unlucky. But anyway, actually, 770 XBA on that, but only a homer in 2 out of 30 parks. Is what it is. He just tattooed a fastball. And Brian Wu, just a quick watch on Wu. He started out with 13 or 12 now straight fastballs to begin the game. Got 2 outs, and he's had some trouble in the first inning recently. So maybe, I guess he's just trying to stick to all fastballs, differ up the velocity a little bit, and actually not really, pretty much just throwing fastball in the 95, 96, and that's about it. Anyway, I'm going to get going. And he strikes out William Abreu nice and quick on 3 pitches, 2 fouls and a swinging strike, and that's his first non-fastball of the game. That's a changeup on Abreu. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you guys later with the NFL mock draft. Be sure to turn that bell on, subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Go Ems.